Hello. So here we have a problem. Again, it's another one where our a is going to be negative. So the first thing I want to do before I even solve this is I need to factor this out. So to solve, remember, we're going to find when the values of y are equal to 0, what are the values of x? But the first thing is I need to factor out my -1. So therefore, I'm going to change the sign of every value. Now, this is what I'm going to factor. And again, I'm going to use the box method again to represent factoring and our product as an area. All right. So what we do is when we want to find this, remember, this represents the area of a rectangle. So therefore, I'll have an x squared here and a -20 here. Then what I want to do is take the factors of -20 and say, all right, well, what two numbers could multiply to give me -20? Now, I know the two values that are going to multiply to give me x squared are going to be x and x. That one's obvious, right? Because x times x is x squared. But now, what about -20? We have a couple options with -20. We could do -20 times 1. We could do 20 times -1. We could do -5 times 4. We could do 5 times -4. We could do -10 times 2. And we could do 10 times -2. So there's a lot of options that we can multiply them for. But we need to understand that we have one x here. So our whatever our two values for have to add up. Remember, this can be written as I'll put in a different color. This can be written as 1x. So our two values, when we add up the area of all this, we need to make sure that the area is going to add up to 1x. So by looking at this, I say, well, what if I had 5x and -4x? Because 5x plus -4x, that adds up to 1x. Now, to find the factors, I just need to be able to figure out what do I need to multiply by to get to my side length. So we know x times x is x squared. X times what gives -4x? -4. X times x is x squared. X times what is 5x? Well, it's going to be a +5. And then let's check our work. Is 5 times -4 -20? Yes, it is. So if I was to add all this up, that's going to give me this inside here, which we call our area of the rectangle. But now I've broken it down and I have my two factors. So I'm going to set this so I have it 0. I still have this negative being multiplied by my product here. But now I'm going to write the factors, which are going to be the side lengths of my rectangle. And the reason why I'm going to write it as a multiplication problem is because now when I have a multiplication problem equal to 0, I can apply the zero product property. Think about it this way. 3 times a number equals 0. Well, that number has to be 0. A number times 5 equals 0. Whatever that number is has to equal 0. So therefore, since these two multiplied equal 0, one of them has to equal 0. Now, what do we do with this -1? Just apply our inverse operations. And that -1 doesn't affect our solution. If I divide -1, doesn't matter, I'm dividing the whole thing by -1, it's still just going to divide to 1, and I'm just going to left with my solutions. So therefore, now I set both factors equal to 0. And now I have two linear equations that I can use my inverse operations to solve. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is how you factor using the box method. Thanks.